Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Louis Dorch. Hope you're having a good start to your Wednesday. And Augusta, it's the same sort of system, the same thing we've been talking about for the past, I don't even know, several weeks it seems like, where instead of all snow coming in, we're once again talking about a rain-snow mix.
Which is not a good combination when we're talking about roads and freezing rain.
I know, it seems like if we are going to get this, we'd like it to all be snow, especially January. But again, mountains are going to see snow today. We are seeing snow in some valleys this morning, but then as we go into the afternoon time, that is going to transition over into all rain. Now, we do have some winter storm warnings and advisories to talk about. The first warning is going to be in Idaho. The valleys could see 4 to 6 inches of snow. Mountains could see anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of snow, and this is going to be through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then the advisories here for the Flathead and Mission valleys through 11 a.m., where you could pick up a quick 2 to 4 inches during the morning time. And then as you go to the Kootenai Cabinet area or the lower Clark Fork region, that's going to be through 5 p.m. this evening. Valleys again 2 to 4 inches, but the mountains could see up to a foot of snow. Here's a quick look at your Wednesday forecast. It is going to warm up today, so 40 in Missoula, 38 Kalispell, 43 Hamilton, 40 also in Polson.
Thank you, Lewis. And in Missoula County coverage this morning, living on the streets, especially during a cold Montana winter, can lead to scary health situations like hypothermia and even death. But the reality is 1,529 Montanans are living on the streets and shelters, according to the 2017 annual Homeless Assessment Report. Amongst that number is 205 veterans and 106 teenagers. We say a growing problem because according to this report, homelessness grew 8% from 2016 to 17 in the state. Another staggering fact from the assessment is that there are roughly 542 families with children living either in shelters or on the streets right now. Yesterday, Reaching Home coordinator Teresa Williams, along with collaborating agencies, presented an update on their plan to end homelessness in Missoula. The plan launched in 2012 and is currently in stage 2, building a coordinating system. The group is working to bring all citizens experiencing homelessness and needing help under one social services umbrella. This is to reduce duplications of housing and service provider efforts and helps produce data for long-term goals. Some have joined this coalition with life experiences in mind, either overcoming their own drug addiction or police officers who see the struggles of homelessness every day.
It takes every ounce of energy, compassion, humor, and patience that I can bring to this endeavor every day. It's been tremendously rewarding. It's been sad and heart-wrenching at times.
And I really started to learn that what was helping me the most was being accepted, being told I was valuable, and really being welcomed into the community. They're accepted, and that they have the ability to move on from what is this momentary, brief, hopefully highly traumatic juncture in their life.
Of the total number of homeless individuals in Montana, 64.4% live in shelters and 35.6% are living on the streets. The Union Gospel Mission in Missoula has an overnight warming shelter to help our homeless residents during the cold winter months. Lake County this morning, with crime on the rise, Lake County leaders may finally be forced to come up with a way to replace the aging jail and provide more room for inmates. Sheriff Don Bell believes it's important for the community to back the idea and help solve the problem, telling MTN's Nicole Miller the project could even boost their economy.
Lake County Sheriff Don Bell believes the key to fixing the county's inefficient criminal justice system is by building a new jail and justice system.
I believe that if we had a new justice center where we could incarcerate the people that need to be incarcerated, our crime rate would drop, our property value would climb, people would come here, more businesses would come here.
The facility saw its last update back in 1995. Since then, the county has seen a dramatic rise in violent crimes driven by drug abuse.
Most of our drugs are coming from Mexico and then coming up the West Coast and then brought over here. The drug trade is really it drives the burglaries, it drives the thefts.
A recent assessment of the jail found more than half of the inmates were in custody because of alcohol and drugs.
Makes them a lot more unpredictable. I've seen that they're a lot more violent, a lot more paranoid,
Bell says the next step in moving forward is having a needs assessment done. He says they've already visited other similar-sized jails to see what's possible.
We looked at 3 reasonably close, and Lewiston, Idaho is the furthest, and then Missoula, and then Bozeman's. And we're kind of mirrored Bozeman's jail, how we would like to build ours, because their recidivism rate is under 30%, which means people that go to their jail, less than 30% of them come back. We're at 70%. So somebody we have in our jail, there's a 70% chance they'll come back to our jail.
Bell says the overall goal is to get offenders back to being productive citizens. Nicole Miller, MTN News, Lake County.
Voters will likely have to decide whether to support a bond to pay for construction of a new jail in Polson. In education news this morning, the Missoula County Public School Board is considering a new budget plan, which may include a new operations levy, which could go to voters as soon as May. The levy request would be the first the district has asked for high schoolers in 6 years, with administrators saying it should be tax neutral because it's replacing a building reserve levy expiring this year.
Even if the voters support a levy request for a general fund operating levy, there's potential that there's a net reduction in their tax bill because of these other changes that are occurring.
District administrators tell MCPS trustees they're still crunching numbers for the coming year, but continue to see impacts from rising enrollments in the elementary schools now starting to be seen at the high school level as well. Additionally, the district is coping with cuts in state funding, specifically impacting areas like transportation. However, for taxpayers, there's some good news. A trio of building reserve levies approved in 2011 to catch up on deferred maintenance are expiring. Coupled with all the new and remodeled schools coming online, that's changing the budgets. What administrators are considering is whether that creates a headroom to ask voters for an operations levy.
What the operating maintenance burden is going to be looks different, but there's still things that aren't covered by the bond that would be covered by a maintenance burden, and including equipment.
The district will need to make a go or no-go decision on a levy proposal by early April. Top stories this morning, CBS News has learned Attorney General Jeff Sessions is the first member of President Trump's cabinet to be interviewed as a part of the federal investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. The president says he's not concerned about the meeting. He's more concerned about thousands of missing text messages at the FBI. John Schwomo reports from New York.
While President Trump awaits his likely sit-down with the special counsel investigating Russian ties into the 2016 election, there's word that Robert Mueller's team recently interviewed Attorney General Jeff Sessions. In the Oval Office yesterday, President Trump said he wasn't worried about the meeting at all.
Thank you.
No, I'm not at all concerned. Not at all. What the president is concerned about, months of missing text messages between 2 top-level FBI employees. The Department of Justice found texts were missing from December 2016 to May 2017, dates that span the presidential transition and the day Mueller was appointed as special counsel. The FBI blames technical issues with Samsung 5 mobile devices that did not capture or store text messages. Early Wednesday morning, Mr. Trump tweeted, "Where are the 50,000 important text messages between FBI lovers Lisa Page and Peter Strzok?" blaming Samsung.
I think he thinks that there's a great cause for concern that 5 months worth of text messages have gone missing, particularly given the individual that has part of that process has already been shown to be extremely biased against the president.
Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer says the focus on text messages is an attempt to divert attention from the investigation.
But he shouldn't be thwarted in any way, and the diversion that they're trying to do, both with Mueller and with others, is not good for the country.
Strzok is expected to testify on Capitol Hill soon, but a date has not been set. John Schumo, CBS News, New York.
The White House believes the entire investigation will conclude in March. Joining us now in the Storm Tracker Weather Center, meteorologist Louis George has a forecast. Louis.
Thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a good start to your Wednesday. A nice picture sent in to us yesterday in the Missoula area. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Jardy, thank you so much for this great photo right here. Had a few clouds overhead, sunshine peeking through the clouds. Maybe you're able to get out and enjoy it. Another pretty mild day, middle and upper 30s for many areas. And that was really really the one quiet day before active weather starts today, and that's going to stick with us now all the way, it looks like, into the middle part of next week. Temperatures right now, 39. It's pretty mild in Hamilton, 32 in Missoula. We're at 21 in Salmon. We're at 34 Phillipsburg, 24 Seeley Lake, 32 in Missoula, 33 Polson, 34 Thompson Falls, and then 34 also this morning in Kalispell. So a quick look at that radar. Yeah, we do have some snow showers starting to develop. Now, here in west central and southwest Montana, we only have about a 20 to 30% chance of these valleys actually seeing some of this light rain and light snow. It's really going to stay dry for the most part. Maybe a few light flurries, maybe a few sprinkles hitting the windshield. That's going to be about it for today, and then we could actually see a little bit of sunshine as we get into the afternoon time. Now, northwest Montana, a little bit of a different story, especially if you're on I-90 this morning. Head over towards Lookout Pass, starting really at Superior here, all the way to Lookout Pass and into Idaho. We're seeing snow-covered roads there. And then as you head further into northwest Montana, we're going to see light snow pretty much throughout the morning, and then that is going to transition for the valleys into rain showers as we roll into the afternoon time. Now, those passes along the Montana-Idaho border, especially Lookout Pass and Lolo Pass, we're seeing snow and ice with change required if towing a vehicle over Lookout Pass. Just scattered snow and ice for Lost Trail Pass and McDonald Pass, and then Homestake Pass not looking bad at all. As you head over towards the divide, head further east, it's going to stay pretty dry throughout the day today. Quick look at those webcams. So Lolo Pass, you can see, yeah, we're getting those snow-covered roads there. It looks not too bad on Lost Trail Pass, but again, seeing a little bit of black ice there. And then the plows are out. So here's I-90 with our plow cam over near Lookout Pass. Snow is falling, snow-covered roads there. And then we have snow falling and some snow-covered roads up in northwest Montana near Kalispell, where the plows are out as well. Here's a quick look at your 7-day forecast. 40 today in Missoula, and then active weather sticks with us all the way into next week with temperatures in the 30s and then lower 30s for the weekend. Kalispell 38 today, 35 on Thursday, 32 Friday, 31 by Saturday. In Hamilton, 43 today, 37 Thursday. Then we'll see lower 30s Friday and Saturday.
All righty. Thank you, Lewis. We hope you're having a great morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. Here's your birthday shout outs.